How you doing, everybody? Turkey Buzzard here. I decided to rebuild the castle, but I was not happy at all with the way it was coming out because it doesn't matter what you do with it. When you finish, it still looks like garbage. So I decided to recreate the castle, and I did that at Spectacle Island. I have a mod which flattens out about half of the island, and it's a perfect place to rebuild. I didn't want the provisioners running around inside the castle, so I built them a sheltered type area out here, and they've been sticking to it nicely, so I'm happy about that. I decided to name the new castle Newcastle because obviously that's an appropriate name. I couldn't recreate the arched doorways, so I went with a different style. And you will notice a lot of differences about this castle. I did go with the general layout of the place, but there are quite a few differences. For one thing, I believe this castle is just slightly larger than the other one. A bathroom area, a shower room. I tried to utilize all the space available to build everything that they would need here. Out in the courtyard, you'll notice that I did recreate the radio man's post. And for the most part, everything in this castle is in the same general vicinity as it is in the original castle, you know, the armory or whatever. So over here we've got recruits doing their physical training. I built a clinic area. This is the doctor's office / examination room. And for patients that need an extended stay upstairs, I built a small dorm type area. What I like about this is I used curtains to separate the beds, so to me this come out looking very much like a realistic emergency room type thing, so I really like how it came out. Something I don't find realistic in the other castle, regardless of what military organization you're talking about, whether they're volunteer or not, once they rebuilt those castle walls, they wouldn't leave the place looking like a dump. They would make the recruits go around, clean the place up, remove the rubble, and make the place look presentable. To me, that's what would be realistic. I moved the workbench down from the side hill there using the Place Anywhere mod, which took me well over an hour because you're only allowed to nudge the workbench an inch at a time. But I did get it moved. Down here I built kind of a laundromat type area because obviously they would need to do laundry. There are 3 dorm rooms, each with 10 beds for a total of 30 beds. You'll notice that these beds are all numbered. That's because originally I was letting people just grab their own beds, but once I got about 15 people, I started receiving notifications that I didn't have enough beds, and my happiness level dropped below 50%. So I decided to number the beds and assign everybody a bunk and keep track of them, and it worked. No more notifications, and my happiness level shot up to 82%. So I don't know why that worked out like that, but it did. This is the cafeteria. As far as stores go, I built this cafeteria and I built the clinic. Other than that, I didn't want any stores because in my mind, the Minutemen are not about building stores and making money. They're about helping settlements and fighting the Institute. So I didn't want to deal with stores. This is the final dorm area. And I built some workbenches over there. The hardest part of this build was originally getting all the walls going in the right directions and angles so that the corners of all the walls met where they were supposed to. But it's the armory area over here, but also the general's private quarters. And this is not a large area here, just enough area to do paperwork, relax, sleep, whatever. The shotgun on the wall here is the Vault-Tec shotgun with the engraved stock, so I figured I'd hang that up there. I put my water purifiers here, and obviously this is the armory. The tables from the Build Your Own Cabin mod all snapped together, so that was very helpful. I really like these Fat Man crates. I think they look cool. And I try to be prepared when new people show up, so I set up a couple of cabinets here. And the bottom cabinet has clothing, and the top cabinet has weapons. That way, if new people show up, I am prepared for them. I did want to show you something, though. The people who have been showing up have been wearing some really weird stuff. Institute clothing, synth uniforms. I mean, this is the first time I've ever had a settlement in my game where people show up wearing this stuff. I don't know if anybody else has had this before. I'd be interested in knowing, but it's the first time I've ever had it, so I'm kind of wondering if I've got maybe some spies here. But I'm keeping an eye on them, not that I'm too worried about it. I have the FCOM mod, so with that you can radio for more reinforcements, whether it's Minuteman, Brotherhood, whatever, you know, Railroad. You can pretty much have an army on hand fairly quickly. So up here, I surrounded the place with railings, used the artificial turf. I have my 5 artillerymen. As far as the guards go, I did not use the guard posts from the vanilla game because to me that's another thing that's very unrealistic. They have their guards on duty 24/7, and to me that's just totally ridiculous because there's no way anybody can work 24/7. So I used the guard posts from the Busy Settler mod, and with that the guards stay on duty all day, but at night they go down, they go to bed, and they sleep. And to me that's much more realistic. This goes back down inside. It's not in the same area as it is on the other castle, but I'm not worried about that too much. It came out okay. This is the other exit or entrance, depending on which direction you're heading. I like the new Minutemen flags and signs that came with the Minutemen mod. I put all my mute fruit plants out here. I did have a Brahmin show up, so I built an area for him and assigned a recruit to take care of him. But as I said, the hardest part of this build was getting the walls going in the proper angles so that they came out where they belong and all the corners squared up the way they should. But I really enjoyed this build, And I hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you did, please take a second of your time to hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, I'd be glad to hear them. And always subscribe for more videos. But I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.